what is money in the digital world. Since we're talking about money, it pretty much impacts everything. All of financial services, all of us, or anyone who's working in finance should at least have an understanding of CBDCs because they are being used everywhere. I'll show you an example in 2 minutes. We talked about Project Orchid, for example. So have a look at Project Orchid if you don't know about it, because it's really interesting. It's about purpose-bound money. It's about using money in a differentiated way so that, for example, if you send money to your children, for example, they can only use it to buy textbooks and not buy candies. Really, really different from the way that we use money today. The other example I would like to use is cross-border payments. What we see here on the FX side, so FX that impacts corporate finance and capital markets. Why? Because if you think about it, FX has been the catalyst for a lot of innovations, including Bitcoin and fintech startups like TransferWise. Why? Because FX is still very slow and very expensive. So people wanted to find other ways around it to make it cheaper, faster, better. Let's to Bitcoin, for example, or let's to fintech companies like TransferWise. What kind of projects do we see? We see a lot of projects, but just to mention one of the projects, FX Everywhere, the HSBC initiative. I don't know if you know, but it's an internal project that was launched a few years ago. Now they work with other banks like Wells Fargo, for example, but internally, they have already traded and settled $4 trillion of FX transactions. So it's not a small project at all. You're starting to have very, very big projects. Here, closer to the region, Project Passior, for example, involves a lot of different counterparties, including DBS, JP Morgan, and others. So FX, cross-border payments, very, very large part, because there's still a big issue to solve. The third one I would like to mention is bond tokenization. So bonds, the fixed income world is still a very clunky industry. In terms of bond issuance to providing liquidity, it's very clunky. We have tried to find solutions for a long time. We do have solutions, actually. And I'll just show you 2 examples from yesterday to show you how real it is. Yesterday, Hong Kong issued a green bond that was a tokenized green bond on the platform of Goldman Sachs. And involved were Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Bank of China, Crédit Agricole, and Fidelity. So a proper bond, tokenized on the Goldman Sachs platform. This is something we're starting to see much more, the same as the EIB bond that I was mentioning. Another example, which is in Switzerland, a month ago, there was a city called the city of Lugano that issued a digital bond. That digital bond was on the SIX platform, so SIX, which is an exchange in Switzerland. And yesterday, there was the news that the Swiss National Bank, SNB, would start to accept this bond as general collateral for repo. So if you're not in the world of fixed income, this is just very, very complex, but basically it's a very important part of financial markets, and having those kind of transactions is really important because it means that it becomes as part of mainstream financial services. So bond tokenization, in general, financial asset tokenization is something that we will continue to see much more because it has happened already. And finally, I'd like to finish with the last example, which is around ESG. ESG, and in particular, carbon credit. So carbon credit, as you might know, because of the urgency in terms of climate, in terms of all the different regulations also that we're seeing, is one of the fastest growing area of the industry at the moment. Some of the issues is really around what do we do with that? How do we track carbon credit? How do we exchange carbon credit? How do we make sure that we have the proper traceability? So you do have a lot of different platforms around this which are being launched. And some of them, for example, are starting to be consortium types of platform. For example, we have one in Europe where there's currently 9 different banks, including BNP Paribas or UBS, which are involved in this platform. So a lot of different examples. So let me finish on this. So hopefully you would have found it useful Let me just go through this and go back to this taxonomy. Because if there was one thing I'd like you to remember, it is this framework. It could help you to understand what is happening today, but also in the future, to identify the trends and what is important, and to see what is real, what is really happening, and what could be just noise or hype. So this research will be made publicly available in the next few weeks. You will be able to have both the taxonomy and the underlying projects that will be shared. And so have a look at this. It is part of a broader initiative, which is this online course between CFT and SMU Academy that will be launched in April. So you will find all the information on this website. So I hope that this presentation was useful to you, that you can use it for the future, and make sure to be part of this new world of blockchain and digital assets, because it is really interesting in terms of the reinvention of financial services. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Mr. Hui over there with the topic, the global map of blockchain projects. Next, let's welcome Safil Sunny, CEO and founder of Transmio Microsoft MVP, with the topic rewards on blockchain. A round of applause. Let's welcome Safil, everyone.
Hey, hi, very good morning all. My name is Safil Sunny. I'm CEO and founder of Transmio. So we today talk about how we can revolutionize the reward system across the globe with the help of blockchain, AI, and artificial intelligence. So when you talk about loyalty, every business required loyal customers. Am I right? Yes, right? So how you build this? That is the biggest challenging task. We are seeing a lot of loyalty programs from day one onwards. If you travel in any airlines, you can see that you can redeem the miles, right? Likewise, if you use any credit cards or debit cards, you are getting rewards. Each rewards is like, let's say I am spending $100 using my credit card. What's going to happen is you are getting a couple of points as a cashback, right? But actually, is it really transparent? Are you able to see what is actually happens with this? So today we will talk about how you want to build a customer loyalty platform and how you make a conventional loyalty platform to a better blockchain-based transparent platform, and how you can increase the adoption of users to sign up for loyalty. So every loyalty platforms always talk about what are the incentives that we are talking about. So usually what happens is, like, every reward points, every network building activities happens based on the network adoption and engagements. And once you have launched the loyalty program, usually what happens is the growth is always a problem, because we are not worried about $1, 50 cents, 1 point, etc. Right? So how you can growth and make growth for your loyalty program and attract more users to it. So once we have spent a huge amount of dollars for customer acquisition, next we talk about the retention, right? How you make sure that our loyal customers are still loyal to us, and how we grow with this. How you adopt the experience using giving better rewards and bring more trust, which give your users an endless possibility and generate a good revenue based on the points that they have received. So as per these studies, we got to know that The global market size of loyalty program itself is $500 billion now in 2023. So we are expecting a 10 to 15% growth in this rewards-based programs to $800 billion by 2025. Now you can see that there is a huge adoption happening to a blockchain-based loyalty program, and we are expecting by 2025, $90 billion will be vested in blockchain-based loyalty programs. So what happens with the traditional, conventional versus blockchain-based loyalty programs? So in the traditional, conventional methods, it is always focusing on limited rewards, and there are a lot of hidden terms and conditions happens in every conventional loyalty programs. And what happens, every point is very rigid. You cannot do anything with that, because it's like, let's say 1 point is equal to 0.25 cents. It stays always like that. So always these loyalty programs are pushing you to invest or purchase their assets. But the points that you are going to get, you are not going to redeem, or you are not going to use it till you get a notification from the loyalty company saying that the point is going to expire. Then you will redeem it. You are forced to do it. Then lack of transparency. We don't know exactly how these points are came and which points comprises with which transaction, none of those information. But when we migrate the entire thing to blockchain, what is going to happen is there is no hidden terms. Every time what happens, there is a dynamic reward system that we can use it for. And this will be a wealth building exercises. Along with that, there are a lot of other companies are coming with proof of buy concept. So you are always looking for claiming the warranty, you always look for the bills, right? You don't require that. Why? Because it's like the transaction is already bind with an invoice, which is already put it in a blockchain. That will act as a warranty guarantee program for you also. So it will be more transparent, and it is also give you a detailed insight how the cashback is working, and it is not a pointing system, so you will be able to immediately encash if you required, or you can reinvest these points, these tokens directly to any of the decentralized network. So nowadays we are always hearing about blockchain and associated frameworks. Now people are now started talking about loyalty chain. Loyalty chain is not nothing new. Actually, it's a game-changing solution that transforming the e-commerce loyalty platform. Whenever you go to buy something from Amazon or eBay or from a local shop, you are spending huge amount of money on each purchases. So you get some points, and you will be able to exchange these points or the tokens which is generated during the transaction that can be vested, that can be exchanged through this decentralized network, that will give you basically flexibility, and it is an open system where different chain can talk to each other. They can trade their tokens inside there, and less culture, and reduce the cost of and brings overall transparency. So when you talk about this loyalty chain, it is also adding a lot of insights of your transactions. Also, it will also give lot of analytical capabilities to understand how we need to be use this system effectively. And this is more customer centric rather than traditional company centric approach. So when you talk about the main concepts of when you talk about the main concepts of loyalty chain, basically what happens is like these benefits are comes through the decentralization, tokenization, and it's provide the transparency and security, and it's an open system where you can integrate with other chains. When you talk about the tokenization, so when you generate the tokens, you are familiar with tokens, right? So we don't want to go through the tokens. What will be the advantage is like usually every blockchain based systems, the token generation, demand of supply can be defined in different format. And once you have defined and generated your own token, what is going to happen is like it can be listed in any of the decentralized network. So each value, let's say 0.25 cents based token, which is generated during the time of 2017 or 2020 purchase, it can grow exponentially because it is listed, it is traded, and the supply of the tokens is always less. So that will help you to grow your investments, like it's an automated investment which is generated through your transaction that will work as an asset rather than a liability. So what are the innovative features which comes with the blockchain based reward programs? So it is global, so because it's going to a decentralized network once the token has been generated, and it's very transparent, and the tokens which is generated by these loyalty platform, loyalty chains can be easily exchanged, so that can be kept in your wallet also. And it is very genuine because it is trackable, and it can also be used for purchasing the assets. You can do the redemption during the purchase of the new merchandises, etc. And as I mentioned, right, it is growing. Growing in the sense depends upon the token generation, tokenomics, it will be growing. As per the current trends, but I can see that most of the supplies of these kind of tokens range between 10 billion to 15 billion tokens year on year. So being blockchain to the reveal the world with rewards, that is the key concept that what we are delivering. So I have seen couple of companies which they are currently using these kind of technology. I have seen that Singapore Airlines is also started using this blockchain based loyalty reward programs, and I think the tokenization is also coming on the way. So hopefully a lot of good things can expect during the digitization of tokenization. So as I mentioned, right, so it's a fusion of traditional technology and new generation technology. So loyalty was there from for more than a decade. Now what happens is like when the new fusion comes in, it's a perfect example from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. Can you imagine that? It's a simple thing. So how the implementation is usually take place? Definitely you have a successful business and you build a customer loyalty platform that's secure and transparent rewards with the blockchain, which is connected with your ERP platform where you get the feedback information, rewards information, etc. Then you can also use it for marketing these campaigns. You can use some sort of referral campaigns, reviews, surveys, etc. to promote the reward implementation. Then also you can push it for employee incentives, drive through like your key persons. If you have some sort of outlets, push it through them to like increase the adoption of employee incentives. Then we can also use these kind of money for the charitable activities also for moving further. So this is like as I mentioned earlier, right, there are a lot of open source platforms as well as companies more concentrating nowadays on loyalty based platforms. And so as you can see here, we talk about Singapore, already talked about Singapore Airlines, and you can see that there is another company called XPayback who is one of the sponsors of this event. They also come up with a platform. Any of the customer would love to get into touch with loyalty based blockchain platform, they can talk to them like with tokens, Loyal and XAT, These are the couple of examples which is currently available in the market, which talk about the loyalty, tokenization, how you use the decentralized network to engage your loyal customer base. Any questions so far? Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Once again, a big round of applause, everyone, to Safil Sani with the topic of the day, reward on blockchain. So as we move on down, next will be our first panel of discussion for the day with the topic of GameFi 2.0, the next big thing in crypto. So let's first welcome our moderator, Roy Keck, CEO and co-founder of DeFi and Emerge Esport. Just have to wait for a while for the moderator. Mr. Roy, are you here? Five minutes. Okay, he'll be here in 5 minutes. So I think we shall take a 5 minutes break file. So we wait for the moderator to turn up and then we can start with the panel of discussion. Thank you. All right, so they are all here. Let's give a big round of applause once again and welcome our first panel of discussion. Once again, it's GameFi 2.0, the next big thing in crypto. So let's welcome our moderator, Roy Keck, CEO and co-founder of DeFi and Emerge Esport on stage. A round of applause, please. And let's welcome our panelists, Felix Sim, co-founder at Salad Ventures, together with Elston Sam, co-founder of Atlas. Also, let's welcome Jisheng Tan, CEO at Player Moon, and our final speaker, Belbear, the co-founder and CEO at Buzz ARVR Private Limited. Would you like to be seated according to your pictures in the background? I think you two could come a bit to be seated over here. A round of applause, everyone, to our panel discussion once again. This is GameFi 2.0, the next big thing in crypto. So let's hand it over to our moderator.
Hello. Thank you so much for the introductions. So hello everyone, my name is Roy. I'm the moderator for this panel today. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Emerge Esports as well as DeFi. So next up, I'll let the rest of the speakers to introduce themselves as well.
Okay, so I guess I'll go first. My name is Felix, and I am the co-founder and project lead at Salad Ventures. So we call ourselves Salad now. And Salad is an X2E or X2Earn ecosystem. We curate and create earning opportunities on the blockchain through our activities, through our community, and through our products.
Hi everyone, my name is Alston. I'm the co-founder of Atlas. Together with me, some of my teammates are in the crowd. So we're a gaming platform that focuses on both Web 2 games and also Web 3 games. So especially in Web 2, we focus on casual/simulation games. On Web 3 side, we focus a lot on the concept of asset interoperability. We've recently also launched a security arm. I think part of increasing mass adoption is improving trust and safety in the space. So we've recently launched a new venture called Elios Labs. This together in partnership with Prof. Ben, who used to be the CEO of Brave Browser and Zilliqa. So we're also open to looking for partners who want to reach out. So some of my teammates are in the crowd, so definitely feel free to reach out to them.
So hello everyone, I'm Jisheng, the CEO at Playamon. So Playamon is actually a win-to-earn game where you can use NFTs inside the game, interact with people, and challenge yourself, and be the top of the leaderboard to actually win the tokens and rewards that you can.
Hello everyone, I'm Belle. Pleasure meeting everyone. I run Bus.AR, so our company, it's like we build sales and marketing tools for enterprise clients. But our backbone, we used to be a game company. We publish 20 games, including one top-selling game that is still listed on Meta till today as the top-selling, top 6 cooking game VR. So I'm here to learn from every one of you, the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I just realized that I never really say what I'm doing for my company. So yeah, so for Emerge, I represent two companies, right? Emerge and DeFi. So DeFi one is much more clear-cut. We are an integrated comms agency that we specialize for Web3 as well as new industries, PR, specializing mostly in exchanges, like I would say. So for Emerge, we have our own IP marketplace as well as a marketing SaaS platform where we work with the likes of content creators. We have about 6,000 over content creators as well as esports teams and game publishers where we enable them to directly connect with brands and for brands to directly connect with them as well as the marketing tools in between as well. So for us right now, we are also backed by MasterCard as well as Walmart. So we are also definitely looking around for brands or partners who wish to list their IPs or games on our platform as well. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the topics of discussion for today. So first and foremost, I guess, as the topic have shown, is GameFi 2.0, right guys? So what's the next big things, I think, to jump into the first questions, what are some of the latest trends and developments that you have been seeing in the GameFi space lately that you think may be of your interest as well? Yes.
Yeah, so what we've seen, so at Salad, we talk to a lot of X2Earn projects. So clearly play to earn is the biggest portion of this market, of this industry. And it's quite, sadly, we haven't been seeing a lot of innovations, a lot of new trends that's popping up in the P2E space other than maybe moving into more casual games, trying to make it cheaper or even free to play to own, like these kind of models has been sort of going around in the recent months. But in terms of innovative gameplay, if you're looking at, let's say, those AAA type games, I think Illuvium has just sort of started their closed beta. Other than them, no one else is online, and clearly because it takes a lot of time to do that. We do see, again, our focus is on the earning aspect of games. So if it's if you just play for fun, that's not something that we would be very interested in. But the earning aspect, we are seeing a lot of very innovative sort of models. So instead of focusing on, let's say, earning in-game tokens, and that's probably one of the things that we'll be talking about later, we're seeing them focus more on the NFTs portion, focus more on the marketplace portion, which I think is quite interesting lah, because gaming is really a culture, and if you want to insert earning into it, and by giving these dual token economies, clearly a lot of our predecessors have shown that that's impossible. But if NFT as a culture as well, I think is something that games are starting to incorporate more.
Thank you for sharing, Felix. I think definitely agree with that. And I think with regards to games, definitely Iflas has been very experienced in this manner as well, working with multiple games as well. Do you have anything to add on as well?
Sure. I think when we first started, we started with casual games. It was quite unique because all the other players went with the AAA type of games. So we were one of the few that focused on casual games. At that point, it wasn't as popular, but slowly people enjoyed that it was low barriers, easy to be onboarded. Especially now in this macro sentiment of quote-unquote the crypto winter, we see a lot more brands coming in at the casual games level. It's a lot more easily digestible. So, and you see that even in traditional gaming. So recently, Bandai, Sega also slowly started branching in. Even for like Polygon, right? They started as a gaming chain. Right now, they also onboarded like Starbucks, a lot more mass market facing retailers. So I think the main theme is it will start to get a bit blurry what's GameFi and what's just average normal gaming, because more mass market appeal is needed. And also, frankly, the market is so small, right? Even if you take November 2022, total number of on-chain wallets that were connected to a GameFi, on a daily basis, it's less than 1 million. It's 800,000. So I think you'll see a lot of companies and aggregators starting to look out to see what's the best way to branch out to more mass market avenues. So even for ourselves within Atlas, initially a lot of it was Twitter and Discord acquisition. Now we're focusing a lot more on Web2 channels, AppLovin, all the way down to your TikTok ads, Unity ads, IronSource ads. So I think long term, you'll start seeing the bridge between GameFi 1.0, GameFi 2.0, or just gaming to be a lot more blur. And people won't even care whether it's on which chain, right? Just like if you use Facebook today, you don't ask, are they on Google Cloud, are they on AWS? It really doesn't matter to a user. So I think as you further on in 2023, you'll see people just talk about gaming, just talking about fun, and less of what's happening in the closet.
Thank you so much, Elston, for sharing as well. Just to add on to, before we move on from this topic as well and to the next speaker, I just want to add on to what you say. And totally agree with regards to, the casual gaming portion, but we have, as well as the AAA game titles, like you mentioned, Bandai, right? We do work with like Ragnarok as well with regards to the Web3 side of things. But I do foresee that with such big gaming titles, right, especially the AAA games, there are much more things to navigate, especially for those who are listed in the traditional scenes, right? So with that, I wanted to also, add on a follow-up question. With AAA game titles coming into play, right, with more and more games looking to explore the play to earn, how do you think these foresee new up-and-coming hyper-casual games to go in and compete with the AAA games, especially for market shares, right?
Yeah, I think I spoke to a number of early GameFi companies. The reason for this play-to-earn concept, to be honest, it's like Uber entering a new market. They have to give promos because people are just not used to ordering a taxi on the phone, right? So just like play-to-earn, that concept was really an incentive to kickstart the ecosystem. I think the writing is on the wall that you can't ever replace anyone's full-time job just from gaming. You could if you're like, a few key players who just have a good social media following, but I think it's not going to be sustainable. So really, some of the big projects, they use NFTs and tokens as a way to onboard early community members. If you're early in the space, you get additional upgrades, you get maybe some financial incentives, but at some point, past like your 1,000, 10,000 users, I don't think we'll see it as a form of incentive anymore. In the topic of casual gaming, it's interesting because what's happening on macros is a few things. One, cost of acquisition is increasing. Two, data privacy laws are also tightening. So it's much harder for, let's say, someone in hyper-casual games